Hello, everyone. How are we? I want to bring up the people so I can see them. Hello. Merry Christmas,
Hi.
everybody, and Happy Hanukkah and all those things. This is my new haircut. They did a good job. And behind me is the palace, a little 8-second video of the palace and all the beautiful snow. This picture is from last night. It was a beautiful night in Prague last night, snowy and bright. And I decided to walk the mile or so, it's about a mile or so, through this 13th century town up to the palace to see the Christmas lights. And you know, when you do stuff like that, some people are so rude that they try to ruin your evening. I had just left the apartment and I'm not a couple blocks later, and this very old man, although he might have actually been younger than me, not the point, very old, rude man was sitting in the middle of the snow on the sidewalk, just blood gushing from the side of his face. I mean, how needy is that, really? So now, everybody else, it was so weird because the street is always packed here, especially Christmas, and no one seemed to have a problem with this. They were all just walking by and talking, those clever ducks. And I thought at first maybe he wasn't there, was I not seeing this guy? So I tried to walk off like a real man. But I can't remember the last time a guy with a concussion smeared blood all over me. So I went to go pick the guy up and move him out of the way and maybe get him a paper towel and at least get him out of the way because he was killing the Christmas spirit, let me tell you. So rude. And do you know, people are really heavy. I don't know if you know that, but especially if you ever picked up a toddler that's like, just doesn't want to get up. Well, when somebody weighs about 180, it's a lot harder. So I finally yelled, somebody, anybody, there was like 10 people standing around, somebody help me pick this guy up. So one person gave me about 5% of their help behind him and got him leaning on me, totally leaning on me. Blood luckily I was on the opposite side of the blood coming out of the side's face. And I got him to a bench inside a little opening atrium way where there's a theater. And I went into the Costa coffee shop and I asked for a towel or something, napkins or something to help this man. And she gave me one bar napkin. She goes, oh, here. I said, no, man, he's bleeding all over. And then I asked her to call an ambulance, which doesn't translate because she just stared at me. I know it's now Zankranka is Czech for ambulance. And I finally said, Polizei, call the police. And she goes, okay. And that was the move. She did nothing to call the police. And I said, the police. She goes, okay, good. So I grabbed a huge, they keep the napkins behind the counter because literally charge you for things like that here. I grabbed a huge thing of napkins and hoped she called the police to get me arrested anyway, and ran out the door to help the bloody guy who spoke no English at all. And I gave him the napkins and and by the way, I had no blood on me. I was so happy that I gave him the napkins and then there was no one around. I had no help. And I realized that right outside our apartment, right now where I am right now, if you go straight down and out the door across the street, there's a police station. We've seen 1 million police and it was only half a block away. So I have to leave the guy bloody, leaning up against the wall and run to go to get a policeman a half a block away. And I lucked out because there was a policeman wiping the snow off his cruiser. And I ran up and I yelled, blood, because I didn't know if he spoke English. And I think law enforcement must know that in many languages because he was like, oh, blood, yeah. And he looked at me first. And by the way, in Czech, it's krev, is blood. And I said, no, follow me. And he wanted to run back, which is great because he's with me now when I fall down and hurt myself on the sidewalk. So we're running back and he's on the thing. And my biggest worry then was that this guy had gotten up and wandered off while I was coming back and gone. So I come back and I'm like, surprise, sorry. So, but the guy was still there. And actually 4 people had now come around and were helping this guy. And he radioed for help and they had called an ambulance. And so now there were at least 4 more suckers than me that were trying to help somebody. And we had a medic and then we had 8 people now there. And at this point I thought, this dude really is an attention hog. And I was like, I don't need to be here anymore because the best thing I do, my greatest skill is handing people off who actually know how to help. So I just wanted to say the palace was beautiful. Okay, so that was that little story. Now, I've written some jokes. These might be them. Here we go. Oh, hey. Oh, my gosh. Did you all see today? Trump made his big announcement. Oh, my gosh. It was a doozy. Did everybody see his big announcement?
Yep.
He announced on Truth Social that he is selling limited edition digital trading cards of himself, like dressed as superheroes and stuff like that.
What?
Oh, my God. They're $99 a piece. He calls them NFTs, which is a lie because there's more than one of each. An NFT has to be one original. And to be clear, the bodies are not 300 pounds of fat with his head on them. They are other bodies with just his head, and the poop stains have been removed. Get them now, said Trump, before this company goes bankrupt too. All right. Okay. Is there someone's rattling behind a bond? Okay.
I don't know.
Hey.
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Carry on.
I'll carry on. I will. Hey, oh my gosh. In stunning news from the DC universe, the fans are sad. Henry Cavill, is that how you say his name? Will not return as Superman for the next movies. Can you believe that, everybody?
Yay!
Oh, you didn't like him?
Can't stand him.
Oh, really? Now, many of the DC loyal are literally crying about Cavill's exit. One said, this is the worst thing to happen in the DC movies since Ben Affleck said he might be back as Batman. We all started to think, heck, I'd rather have Clooney back.
That's pretty bad.
Okay.
So would I.
Yeah, thank you. Clooney was a better Batman than Ben. Everything is better than Ben Affleck in a movie. Why don't I like Ben Affleck? Let's ask that question. Hey, oh my gosh, a former Twitter employee was recently, I'm going to use words today. A former Twitter employee was recently convicted for spying for Saudi Arabia. Wow. As early as 2014, the spy, Ahmad Abu Amo, accepted bribes and helped Saudi officials with receiving sensitive information. He will spend 3.5 years in prison. In a statement, employees who work for Elon Musk at Twitter now looked around and said, prison, 3 years. I envy that guy. I'm looking for Elon right now. Okay, more about that later. Oh my gosh. The new Avatar film, The Way of the Water, opens Friday, 13 years after the first film. Who can't wait to see that?
Can't wait.
Oh, yippee, yippee, yay, yay.
Uncle
Walter's
Walter's
down
excited.
on everybody this week.
I'm sorry, I'm just...
That's four of the film's original stars will be back in the blue. One of them is 73-year-old Sigourney Weaver, who says she plans to be in the next film as the Urn. I'm just kidding. She'll only be 86 when it comes out, which is only 35 in Betty White years. So. I wondered if that was funny, but I think it was funny. Just that
was a good one.
That says it all, doesn't it? Oh, hey, in another same thing, Kate Winslet, it is reported, held her breath underwater for 7.5 minutes while filming scenes for the new Avatar movie. That is amazing and reminds me of a feat of my own many years ago. I held my nose for 2 hours watching Waterworld with Kevin Costner. Walter, did you like that film?
I hated it.
Hey, you and I agree on many things, except I kind of like Cavill as Superman. Although obviously, being an '80s guy, we were all Chris Reeves fans.
Damn straight.
Hey, there's good news, and that is that data suggests that inflation should ease a good bit in 2023. So that's kind of nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Which means only one thing. On hearing the good news, conservative news outlets said, Hunter Biden's laptop. They want no good news.
Yeah.
You can always use that. Oh, hey, this is fun. This is great. starting December 13th. And for 12 days, just like the song, Dunkin' Donuts will give away a free donut a day. So that's kind of, go to Dunkin' Donuts. You have to purchase a drink, size medium or larger, to get the deal. And this just in, Dunkin' Donuts for a limited time has raised the price of their drinks by $1.30. That's how much a donut costs. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm glad we're all here. Oh my gosh. And by the way, next week, for everybody in the show right now, you'll need a special link to come to the Kvetchmas show. Everybody else out there in the world, you go to Facebook, the event, and you watch it right there. Hey, a Florida pastor and his son were arrested for fraudulently misusing $8 million in COVID relief funds and used a portion to buy a mansion near Disney World. Wow, $8 million this pastor stole. Conservatives in Florida were very vocal about the pastor, saying, "Oh, I hope he doesn't run for president, because then we'd have 3 really good choices."
Yeah.
DeSantis, Trump, this guy. Okay, because they like a crook. Oh, this one. People are going to be mad at me. Will Smith told his kids on his wife's show, The Red Table Talk, that it was really dehumanizing and embarrassing when, while filming his new movie, he got stuck in neck chains, and it took a while to find the key. It was dehumanizing and embarrassing. "Oh, I could never know what that feels like," said Chris Rock. Okay. Well, I think there's only one more.
Okay.
Okay, and it's really long. So wait a minute. I just skipped the whole thing. I'm a little off tonight, but then that's pretty much par for the course. Okay. The Voice. Boy, we all love The Voice, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've all seen The Voice a million times. The Voice with Blake Sheldon, Gwen Stefani, and John Legend finished its 22nd season with Blake Sheldon's protege taking the title and Gwen Stefani and John Legend not winning. It was an amazing night for the singer that Blake Sheldon said was already a star in Blake Sheldon's eyes and will have a huge career. Blake's student, who won, said it was an honor when host Carson Daly finally said his name, which no one heard or remembers. Good for you, Blake Sheldon. Another win for you in The Voice. A stepping stone to that vocalist to go work at Six Flags. Okay.
Brad Tassell,
See, that show.
everybody!
That show you never name one person who's won The Voice. Anybody?
I could name one person, Blake Shelton.
But I will say this. I
He's
finally
the only
enjoyed a
winner
Brad
of The Voice
Tassell.
because that's the only names they mention. You
Yeah,
never
but I'd
hear.
like to point out, it's Shelton, not Sheldon. So your whole premise.
Okay, let's go back and do that joke again. So it's
I was gonna
Shelton.
say-
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you're not
follow
doing it.
country music.
I
I
won't allow it.
like the one country star, Brad Paisley.
Brad Paisley. I say, don't downplay it. That was actually a really good Brad Tassell segment there.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Hey, everybody,
well,
clap
thank
for
you
Brad
so much.
Tallis.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know what? It's one of the reasons is because Walter and I agreed on so many things. So.